Good evening, ladies and germs, boys and girls, binary and non, all my peoples. You know, this is a pod that I'm just going to share and see how it goes because I'm like doing a recap of the weekend. I usually don't do this, but I did some interesting gigs this weekend. I did a gig in Lake Elsinore, the Izzle, deep off the 15, is it the 15? For the Lake Elsinore Storm, which is a great single A ball team, I believe, for the Padres organization. What's up, Storm? My man Pete and my man Keith hooked it up. And Mark, who's the program director, thank you very much. They had us, and basically this is about a 4,500 seat stadium. And the nights they're not having baseball, they are going to do like, other events. And it was awesome, man. They made me feel so welcome. They made my whole crew feel great. We went in, gave us the whole... What's interesting is... Oh, by the way, people are telling me sometimes when I do these things, get to the point. I agree. I don't have a fucking producer. It's me and my man who edits, and I'm in my brain. You know what I mean? And I'm tired. I do a lot of shit, but if I don't fucking put something down, I'm never going to put it down. This is all off my fucking dome, all right? People are like, and I get it. Sometimes I get Biden brain. Hey, man, Corn Pop was a bad dude. Biden fucking rode a bike. Who let that dude on fucking 2 wheels? I said that before all the memes. Anyway, I'm at the baseball game, and there's a couple of things that happen. And I just want to realize that they built this beautiful stadium behind, like right in front of second base. We had to run out to do this fucking show, and it was like all the way from the other locker room dugout, so it was like a little bit of a walk, and they put us on the big billboard on the big jumbotron. It was awesome. Paid us awesome, and I felt bad because there wasn't a ton of people there. There was maybe 180 people in a 4,500 person stadium, maybe 200, but they're gonna build it, and they did well, they said, even though they paid everybody because they sold a lot of concessions. So comedy is now expanding to other places. People are doing it, or they're putting it as an event. I'm doing an event this Sunday in Virginia Beach. It's not normally for comedy. I'll tell you about my other gig I had this weekend. But here's what I want to say is I did this gig. It was awesome. And the big stage, it made us feel really good. It was like a nice big, it built a big thing, man. It was crazy. And it's fascinating because I always say, like, you should just go to where your fans are, right? Go to where your fans are so you're doing comedy that you love to do, right? For me, to go up in town every night, if you're doing stuff, if you can go on the road, it's a little bit of like, why do I need to go up in town and do 15 minutes? That's how I always felt, because I'm like, I just did an hour and a half in Cleveland for a lot of money. Why do I need to come? Well, in LA, it used to be just a showcase town, but now, since every monster comic in the world has to go up to keep practicing, and they just do it because it's almost like we just need to show our face to know that you're in the game, you got to go up, right? It never was like that. Once you got big, you got out of the clubs, but now the clubs are like in LA and New York, the primo places to, like, because you never know who's going to pop in. Chappelle, Burr, Chris Rock, everybody, right? I was thinking Angela Johnson. You gotta put everybody in there. But I'm like, for me, why do I need to do that, right? Like, why does anybody need to do that? Well, if Bill Burr just sold a stadium out and he's doing 20 minutes, you gotta do 5 minutes because he's, the king, right? And that never was the case. So when you go up in town, it's like just to show your face. It's also to keep yourself strong, your peers, because you can go on the road and do a bunch of road shit and come to LA and people are like, that's fucking works in Alabama, bro. It ain't working here, which has happened to me before. But I always think, like, going on a comedy show, unless you're working out like a new 15 minutes or something, just to go on, 4 times. If I did 2 weeks and I did 2 shows a night, 15 minutes a night for, 9 shows, it's great to just work out. But if it's the same material and I don't adjust it, it's like, okay, I know it works. Like, why am I doing this for $50, $100 in town? And like I said, it's to keep up with your peers. It's to get better. But at this point, I don't really care. Like, I don't have any stage fright issues or anything. Maybe if I did at the Oscars, I guess. Fear of being attacked. But I would say just to get the bit better, right? But that's a whole preamble to what I really mean now. Is when we go up in clubs, it's a privilege because this is the one thing I fucking forget. Audiences are trained. They are coming to the Mecca of comedy, so they know how to behave. They go to Gold's Gym. They don't drop the weights. And that's what I realized this weekend. This is such a cool place, what they're doing out here. They're building like alternative entertainment when the baseball team's not there. And one of the things they want to cultivate is comedy. And I'm honored that they picked me. But the crowd, and I've had way crazier crowds, literally thought they were at a baseball game. They're fucking heckling, they're shouting, they're doing jokes back, they're saying my mom's, they're talking about my dick, like anything, you know what I mean? The greatest thing is all the practice that I have had over 30 years is that I comment enough with them to get them on my side, and then I just start gunning them down with material. They'll come back a little bit more, get it back in again, maybe trump one of the hecklers, hit him with another funny bit, and then they were trained, right? But it's work, man. Kyle came in and he was like, I earned every fucking dollar. It was really funny because he was out there doing like 10 minutes of just his material, and he's like, fuck this. And when he went off and just started fucking playing with them and heckling back, and he killed. And that's, this is all our process, right? That's how you learn. So there's many strings in this guitar. And so it was a lot of work. I did like 70 minutes, and it was fun as fuck. I loved them. They were fun because a crowd like that can get rightly out of hand. And they were there. They wanted it. They were just shit. A lot of people were shit faced. It was cold. A lot of people probably were meth faced. I don't know. I'm kidding. It's Riverside. Am I? But long story not boring is I don't know where the lake is. Lake Elsinore. I never saw a lake. I saw mountains. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the reason why I go on the road and I do all these things. We do these things to see our friends, but our fans and stuff. But I just realized why I have to go and play 10 minutes at the Ha-Ha. Just because people on Lancashire Boulevard are more well-behaved than somebody in, Arkansas. Like, that's not used to comedy. And that's something I forget. So as much as you can go on the road and sell 1,000 tickets, if it's not in the proper like comedy mindset, it's going to be work. And I've had a few of these shows. I mean, my whole career I've had shows like this, but this year I've had places that were trying comedy, and they're going to have a great time, but they don't understand, laugh, shut up, like Todd would say at the beginning of the promo at the Improv. But hey, but I also feel like they're more entitled now. People are more emboldened. Heckling's a thing. Everybody's smart. They're smacking comedians. They're attacking comedians. So I think they feel it's like part of the thing. It's like, yo, fuck you, show me, right? So you just got to go and do your thing. Gun them down. Keep it going. Be vulnerable. Let them know that they can win, and then that'll make them feel good, and then win again. And then you beat them, and then it's all, you know what I mean? It's a dance. I hate it when comics go up and try to just act like the heckler never affects them, and hecklers in the audience will usually eat that type of person up. Be vulnerable. It's okay. You can take an L. It's literally a baseball game. You got a few at bats. If you get 3 hits out of 4, you're not bad. I just thought it was a wild night. It wasn't that crazy, but what I'm talking about is because at the end, some guy's like, kept talking about my dick, and he's like, your dick looks big, and it was really, and I was like, sir, it's actually pretty breezy up here, what I'm saying, big laugh, whatever. And then he's like, your dick looks big, and then like, I don't know. I wasn't wearing spandex. And then he goes, your dick looks small. And I'm like, I told you it was cool. He's like, your dick looks small. And then the next thing I know, I heard, get the fuck out, fuck you. Let him do the jokes with him. And the fucking security was like, let's go. And they literally fucking drug his ass out. I couldn't see past the floodlights. Because people were like, fuck you, that's art. It was like a Celtics game, and they were like, fuck you, that's a Milwaukee Buck fan. And he kept talking, and he didn't realize that he was like, fuck. He wasn't fucking up the show because I kept going, and I'd respond to him, and I'd go back, and I'd get a laugh or whatever, and do like, what? But eventually, this lady got really mad. This other guy got mad. Another guy put the guy in a chokehold, and security had to like chokehold them, to chokehold them, and they got like 4 people got tossed. And I'm like, guys, we're 60 minutes in. You could have did this. And my first Shrek impression, you know what I mean? But that was funny, you know, like. So anyway, they tossed the guy out like an hour in, which was hilarious. I guess he got tossed out. And I guess he said, I didn't hear this, but he said, so that comedian's an asshole and I'm getting thrown out. No, he said this. He said, so that comedian talks shit and I get thrown out. This is the insanity with which we deal with, right? This is the insanity that we live in, all of us. He literally was fucking heckling the whole time. I was just moseying through. But when it was too much and the crowd heard it too much, I had to deal with it, you know? So I would deal with it, give him a little burn, come back, let him get a laugh, you know, come back. He just wouldn't shut up. But, you know, comedians will tell you there's that type, you know? And then eventually the crowd got mad at him. But then he literally thought I was the asshole because I would serve him back. He would serve me, I would serve him back. And he thought, I don't know, like people paid $35 to see him, you know, in a lake. They didn't see him. And I just thought it's funny. And then at the end of the show, it was awesome. And we did a meet and greet. And I don't know. Here's what people don't understand. If you're drunk, there's a 99% chance you're going to be annoying. If you're a grown person who's really drunk, I don't know, see your therapist. And so people just, you know, I get it. They have jobs maybe they don't love or whatever. And on the weekend, they just fucking escape my existence. Fucking just squeezing down fucking Michelob's, right? And there was a dude who came up and he was fucking pretty fucking lit. But he looked kind of tough, like he was a Marine and stuff. But so I was like, thank you for your service. I never got it. I don't know if he was or not. And he's like, you want a picture with me, man? I get a picture with me, man. You want a picture with me? I can see that, man. Like, you want, you know? And the problem is I had all these great security guards, but they don't know how to handle like a drunk because he's, you know, they don't know if like comedians like one. And the guy had his arms around me and I was like looking at everybody. And then I was talking to Kyle. And then Kyle, I'm like, dude, because he's usually the security. And then fucking 3 of his drunk friends were like, yeah, man. And so he was swamped. And security was throwing out someone else. And then I talked to Keith, who was another comedian. And he was like, what do I do? And I'm like, dude, grab somebody. Poor guy. I guess in a nutshell, if you come to the meet and greet, you know, if you're drunk, that's the biggest thing I have to say. You're drunk. I can't tell you anything because you're drunk. I just want to say all the stuff I deal with. Like before that gig, we were driving and I started getting terrible, terrible pains in my stomach. And I was like, oh my God, like I haven't eaten all day. And I feel like Montezuma was mad. And so I went to an Arco and I just couldn't do it. And then I literally get there and the guy greets me. He's like, how you doing, man? Is everything all right? I was like, I got to go to the toilet. And like, yeah, I had my own little dressing room. I ran in there and I was in there for a while. But like, I didn't even know. And then like, I got go on the show, do an hour and at like 10. And I'm like, phew. And then after that, I do a meet and greet, and then some sports drunks. I mean, these are the little things that both sides don't realize what's happening. I don't know what's going on in your lives before you see me, but there's a lot of stuff, you know. We got through it, and it was great. Great combination, great food. Great event. And then the next day, I got to fucking fly early. I got to get up early. I got to go, and then I got to fly to Oregon, which isn't bad. And then once I land in Redding, actually. I got to drive 2.5 hours. It's the only flight to get to the gig in Oregon, which is another beautiful facility, beautiful theater, Ross Raglan Theater, one of the last remaining theaters in that part of the country. Fucking historical landmark, incredible. The whole town came out. A lot of the town came out. And this is another thing where they're taking this beautiful theater. There's like this is a historical landmark. I'm sure they do a lot of great productions there and music and stuff, but they're doing comedy once a month now. And they really want to do it. And I was the first one on their new contract. I do a lot of first. I break, people are like, hey, Jamie. I'm like, I'm always a cherry breaker. I'm fine with that. That's my improv background. Yes. And that it's just so nice to see people put comedy shows up now, like in more places than just clubs, you know? And I guess this crowd was great. They were a little wild too, though. And they bought like opera seats. There's this whole section where there's opera seats, and this guy's like, this one guy during the show, he was like, man, he's like, I see some of your ex-girlfriends. I want to smell your dick. Like, that's what the guy, I'm like, what? He's like, I want to smell your dick. I seen what you ex-girlfriends. You're all right in my book. Like, this guy was fucking opera seat. It was like a $75 ticket. And he's screaming. I'm like, is that the old man Muppet Heckler? You know? And everyone's laughing. We're having a good time. But like, again, it's a beautiful theater. People just, I'm used to this shit after 30 years, but I just find like people are more bold. Like if Pavarotti is like, oh, I don't want to make everything loud. People are like, I want to smell your balls, Pavarotti. Like people just, they fucking just literally think I am an aardvark at the zoo or I'm a fucking sloth. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying is. What I'm saying is the whole point of this pod is I'm sharing with you is that comedy is going in different places, which I love. Entrepreneurs are coming up more and more, which I love. People are trying it as an alternative form of entertainment with not just like mud flap racing and, you know, and all this other stuff. And the crowds are coming out. Though I guess the comment is that I like that the alternative shows the comedy clubs, but I am learning that comedy clubs, you know, I have to give respect to the comedy clubs because they train the crowds. And a lot of people that come to comedy shows really just don't understand certain etiquettes. But I also just think it's the times we live in. It's never going to be the same. It's never going to be like, ha, ha, ha. People are drinking. They're pounding. This show at Ross Raglan had, they had the first act, the guy who booked me and his partner. These guys were incredible. And then they had my opener. And then they had an intermission. And I was like, an intermission at a comedy show? And they're like, yeah, you know, this is what we do. This is a theater. They go and buy drinks. People are buying Bellinis. And then they went out and did another 10 minutes. And then they brought me out. And I didn't know if that was going to work. And it worked. It was great. They were super ready. So that was pretty cool. I didn't think that would actually work. And it did. So first 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, an intermission, then another 10 minutes, then me. But they were jazzed, you know, to come. And it's fascinating. Hold on a second. You know, and like, it's just such a wild, it's a beautiful time. I mean, I go to this part, Klamath Falls, like, I recommend everyone go there. It is fucking 2 hours away from the middle of nowhere. So Redding, California is in the middle of nowhere, and this is 2 hours away from that. So it's 2 hours away from the middle of nowhere, and it's fucking beautiful. The freshest air, the freshest eggs, the best hash browns, the best coffee. But it's literally Twin Peaks, like my man said, and it's where time stood still, and it was an entertainment capital. You have to look this all up. Before the 5 freeway was developed, there was a lot more entertainment there, and then the 5 made people can go right to Vegas or LA quicker. And it's fucking like historical up there, but it's hidden. It's where you want to be when the shit hits the fan. It's like, I want to be up there. And fucking people are so happy. They're like, you came, man. You made it. Thank you for coming up, man. We don't see much up here, man. And it's a lot of weed growers and, you know, just small business owners. But it's literally a town that knows everybody. Literally, my picture was in every window. Shoe stores, delis. It was cool. It was like, that was like real small town America. And I'm so honored. And I really am, man. I really fucking am. They were like, man, I can't believe you came up here. But to me, that's all I want to do. I want to play places like this all around the world. Like, I've done a lot of shows already in my life, and I've been mostly everywhere. But then these little pockets I haven't been. Obviously, they come out in droves. But since the pandemic, people are even happier to come out. They're more appreciative. I'm more appreciative. I understand how lucky I am. They want to escape. They know that time is weird and the whole life in the world is weird right now, and the fact that I'm coming up there, and I just think it's a beautiful time for live entertainment. I think live entertainment is going to be like the last thing that we have that's normal, because we're going to be able to just get anything we want anywhere. But to see those live moments are just going to, that's, people want to do that. They want to be in the same room. My old therapist used to say this to me. She goes, we're a social being without being social. And it was very true. Like, why do you go to a coffee shop and people are typing? They're not talking to anybody. They just want to feel like they're around people. They can't, if they're in an apartment all day, they get too isolated. They don't feel good, you know? So even the most nebbish person will be like, in a coffee shop with their headphones on. It's kind of annoying that they don't make eye contact with you because you know they want to. So that's where we're at. And the town is just, it was great. And people come out, man. This is what I want to do. This is my plan. I want to get a bus, and I want to pimp the bus out and make it pimp. I'm going to put solar on it. I already looked at one bus, but people said it wasn't worth it. I have to talk to the guy. I don't care if it's a school bus. I don't care if it's an old tour bus. I don't care if I'm going to convert some shit. I'm going to make it as pimp as fuck. And I think I'm going to fucking start just fucking traveling everywhere in that bus. And I think it's got to be some hybrid in it with some gas too. Because I think you need a little gas in case the grid goes down. I know I'm sounding crazy, but I'm not. And I just want to hit the road. It's a little bit of a drive. It would have been 12 hours to go to that gig. But if I could do, like I said, the ballpark, and then, it's 8 hours after that. And because I just think there's a lot of cities I can play. The people that like me, I can do I don't have to do 1,000 seats or 500. I could do 300 seats. You know what I mean? I just go one night here, one night there, and then come back. I'm going to put a studio on it so I can record there. And I think it'll be great. And that's what I'm really excited. I want to just go. And then I won't have to keep coming back and forth. I can go make my way across the country. Probably not Canada. They got a little stricter. But anyway, I did this because I just want to recap. This is a different type of video for me. I'm not railing against society. I've got a lot of those coming up. But this was just a nice recap to say thank you to the crowds. Comedy is in a fantastic place. And I appreciate, the bookers bringing me Retro Records. Big shout out to you. Klamath Falls, Ross Raglan, Lake Elsinore Storm, all you guys. And, it's just a great time to do something live before the aliens come. So I can be normal. Like, subscribe, comment. Yeah. Peace, baby. Oh, I might do a new merch drop. I think I'm going to do. I'm just going to add this in. I'm going to do a very limited edition of a Scream-themed marijuana apparel. Is it apparel? Marijuana paraphernalia. So if you think that's interesting, leave a comment. Later.